that guy right there. That might be my thumbnail right there. I gotta remember that. You know, you ever see me in my thumbnails? Oh my God! But that is an oh my God. Look at him. Look at him. He is playing the shit out of that. And he's just slamming it. How's blood not coming from his fingertips? Wow. Because he knows how to play guitar, Greg, and you don't.
It's showtime, folks.
G'day everybody, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is John, that guy is Greg, and we've got a tune to chew over here this evening. Greg, are you okay? You up for it?
Give me a song. What do you got?
Okay, I've got a song from an Antipodean band. They are called The Church. You've probably heard of one of their songs.
No, I've heard a few. I've heard a few. Reptile.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's a song that is on my list, and I wanted to give to Andy. And of course, the Milky Way. I mean, that's one of the famous songs.
Yeah.
The other one, it's escaping me. Begins with an M. It's one of the.
There was a minor hit of theirs, an early one called Unguarded Moment. It's probably not that.
It escapes me.
Metropolis. There's another one.
That might be it. I think that is it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. It's none of those. This is a song, and it's quite an interesting one. It's called You Took.
Okay.
And it's one of their early ones, but this is a special live performance from later in their career.
Okay. I don't think I know that song.
No. Okay, well, go ahead and have a listen and come back and tell us what you think.
Oh, dear. What is that? Boom, 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 boom. Not the bass, but the other thing. Like, is that the harmonics that the guitarist is playing on his strings? That's really cool. Oh, that sounds good. That lead guitar part was so good. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, if it wasn't so long, I'd go back to that. That was great.
You took a piece of my heart.
Man, that voice that goes back so many years. Ah, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, you took a piece of my heart. And I don't know why. No, I don't know why. But it was clear, and coming here, I must have put the horse before the cart. Before the cart. You took the lead from the start. You took the lead from the start. And I don't know why. I don't know why. It's clear and I'm coming here. Must have put the signs before the heart. Before the heart. You took the rest of the day. Oh yeah. You took the rest of the day. And I don't know why. I don't know why. And now that it's all over, well, there's just this coldness in my way, and it's in my way, so get out my way.
Ah, so great. Why am I? Sorry for blocking the view. He is going nuts with the whammy bar. It's like, I got this thing here. I'm going to just use it until it breaks off my guitar. I mean, holy shit. It's so good. That's a great stance. Build it up, baby. Build it up. John Lennon rhythm guitar. It's like a John Lennon rhythm guitar. Wow. Rickenbacker? Sorry, I digressed. Oh, this is so good. I love this. No matter where I go.
Yeah. We took the clubs and the spades.
Can't win.
I don't know why. No, I don't know why. It's a shame. It's not a game. We're playing blood crusade. It's a blood crusade. It's a blood crusade.
Rhythm, that guy right there. That might be my thumbnail right there. I gotta remember that. You know, you ever see me in my thumbnails? Oh my God! But that is an oh my God. Look at him. Look at him. He is playing the shit out of that. And he's just slamming it. How's blood not coming from his fingertips? Wow. Because he knows how to play guitar, Greg, and you don't. I do play guitar. But yeah, in the past, I've actually had like my fingers, you know, just going, you're going, especially when you're caught up like in a whole jam, you know? And the next thing you know, it's got blood coming out, you know? Hey, the Beatles, I got blisters on my fingers. I don't know. But man, look at him. Look at him. Oh man, what a shot. I love that. Oh, this is great. This is great. 11 minutes. I went, 11 minutes? Are you kidding me? I'm going to... Yes. 2 more minutes. Yes, I'm complaining. I know. John can't win with me. I bitch when it's like a 2 minute and 20 second song, and then I'm bitching when it's 11 minutes. I don't know where to go. There you go. Ah, it's so good. As John would say, that was a belter. All right, on the other side with John.
Okay, well, I know what you're going to say straight away, Greg. Could have done with a solo, but you can't have everything.
I was going to start off by saying that, what are you trying to make up for the JJ Cale debacle when you gave me
Tobacco.
just a debacle of like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Just when I was getting into it, it just got ripped away from me. So you thought, hey, I'll give you a 9-minute song, to sort of compensate. I mean, it's not just all
Not
about,
at all.
it's not all about size there, John.
Yeah, you could talk. I mean, how many 9-10 minute songs have I endured from you?
Touche.
Yeah.
It's all
enjoyed.
about,
So not endured. Enjoyed. Sorry.
it's all about the quality. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That said, holy shit, did you hit it out with this one? Yeah. This was really great. It really was. I like this band. I mean, from the few songs that I already knew, and I like his voice. I know them from like years ago, and that sort of in that new age era and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they've been around for a while. I mean, this looks like a later sort of performance.
Yes.
Not sure how recent, but they looked a little aged and experienced, worn, but like, which is cool though. Like it's a really cool, like, I wish I looked like that, in my older years. Got some wrinkles, but the hair and sexiness and, playing instruments like that. That's really cool. And man, they just, it was different than the new wave kind of sound that I've attributed to them, because it was just more rock, it was rock performance. I mean, what was really interesting about this performance is that it had kind of two different lives. I mean, definitely had to set you up with the vocals and the lyrics, and because the stuff later on, I mean, as great as it is, it probably it wouldn't have, well, it would have made sense. You would have just said, "Oh my God, this band is great," and they're just wailing away, and it's great. But I really do connect what they were doing in that, with all that solo stuff and the guitar, and just with what he was singing about. I mean, he was pouring his heart out. I mean, I like, you believed it when he sang, "You took a piece of my heart, and I don't know why." So apparently, at least to me, just from hearing, that line, those lines, a couple other things, like, you know, this guy gave, his heart, himself, his whole being, and he got smashed.
Yeah.
He has nothing to show for it. This woman, whoever took his heart, is gone, and he's just a broken mess.
Yeah.
And you feel that from him, the way he sings that, not just because he sung those lines, but the way he sung them. It was so effective. It really was. Um, I mean, what led up to that too was cool. I mean, I liked the beginning. Um, it sounded like there were harmonics that the guitarist was playing, harmonics on the guitar. That was really cool. It
Yeah.
was almost sounded like an instrument by its of its own. But I
Yeah.
think it was just the harmonics that, hitting those, yeah. Then the nice beat that establishes, right? And that's really cool. And then a change up, and then the pace picks back up, and then, like I'm saying, the lyrics are sung, you feel it, you feel it, you feel it. And then what comes after that is just, I think at 6 minutes, it kind of, there's a pause, and that's so effective. And then start that build up, that build up, that build up, and then boom, they rock the shit out of it. I love what the lead guitarist was doing with the whammy bar, with that Fender. I mean, he's just, hitting the notes, and he's taking the whammy, and he's just milking every single, note out of that Fender. It was just so good. I loved it. I really did. It gives me a new appreciation. And even though I like the band, I've always liked the I mean, in fact, again, I have a song that I always want to give Andy because I kind of figured you knew Reptile. Um, but man, whole new appreciation for the band now.
Mm. Yeah, they're it's simply masterful performance. I mean, it really was. But they've been going a long time. It's a bit like when I saw AC/DC, you know, whatever you think of them, but they've been going for so long, they know how to put on a show, and they really did. It was one of the best gigs I've ever seen. And this performance, again, it's just, you know, seasoned guys who know what they're doing with a song they've been playing for 20 odd years, you know, and it was different to the album version, the solos, etc. You know, so I thought it was a bit more interesting. I thought it was quite nice to see them in context as well, a bit older, but to see them playing. Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about just going to the band a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a very long history of them, and I won't, you know, get bogged down. But they were formed in Sydney, Australia, in 1980. I was actually introduced to them in the mid 80s by a friend who said they were the Australian REM, and they're so not. But that was kind of what they were being sold as at the time. So they came out, as you say, this new wave sort of phase, but their first album, which is called Of Skins and Hearts, it's a great album. I absolutely adore it. But there's loads and loads of Beatles influences on there, and they had a minor hit called The Unguarded Moment, and you can hear Ticket to Ride all the way through it. And they've taken it as an influence. They haven't ripped it off, and he's gone with it.
Right.
As you know, so as you see them in the video, Steve Kilbey is the vocalist and the bass player, and he's the main songwriter. And I'll say a bit more about him in a bit. He was actually born in England, in Wangan City, and his folks moved to Australia when he was 5. So he is, to all intents and purposes, Australian. The lead guitarist is Peter Copes. And then the other guitarist, who sometimes is lead and sometimes is the guy with the beard and long hair, is Marty Wilson Piper, and he's English as well. And he started traveling the world after he left school, and ended up in Australia in his late teens, and joined the band, and been there ever since. And their main drummer for a number of years was a guy called Richard Klug, who I know. The guy in this video is a guy called Tim Powles, who has been with them since 1994. This performance was from 2009. So it is a while ago when you think about it now, but it's quite sort of late on. So they did a number of albums. Their second album was called The Blur Crusade, which is that one there, which this song is off. They did a couple more. Their fifth album was called Starfish, and that was kind of their breakthrough, which had Under the Milky Way on it, which became a massive hit around the world, and songs like Reptile and North, South, East, West, and others on there. They did a couple more albums, God Afternoon Fix and Priest Equals Aura, which a lot of fans think is one of their high points of their career. And I have to be honest with you, that's around about the time I stopped listening to them. I don't know why, I just did. Their albums actually got harder and harder to get hold of as well. They became more sort of, they weren't quite as successful, so it was very Australian based, the releases, and but it's just my fault, and some good. I've managed to get hold of a few of them now, and start plowing my way through them the last couple of months, and some great stuff on there. But from Priest Equals Aura onwards, they took a more psychedelic, but a modern psychedelic approach. This sort of dreamscape, dreamy pop.
Okay.
Really, really nice, as opposed to sort of like Starfish is quite rocky, sort of middle of the road almost, but they're really well crafted. The one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was I actually, totally by chance, I saw Steve Kilbey live just before lockdown. It was a weird evening, totally weird. He was playing solo, well, not solo, he was supported by a woman called Amanda Kramer, who plays keyboards with the Psychedelic Furs, and Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees, amongst others. And he was just doing this very small set of gigs. And this one was at a place called Waterbeach Baptist Church. So it was an old chapel which had been converted. I don't think it was still used for religious purposes. It's September 2019, and a friend of a friend got some tickets, and so we went along. And it's in a little village outside of Cambridge, you know, population 300 or 400, and it's this tiny place. And this guy, who's one of the greatest songwriters, certainly out of Australia, was playing there, and the capacity was 100 tops,
Mm.
tops. But there's probably about 80, 70 people there. They'd taken out the pews and we're just in chairs. So we are 2 rows from the front, and it's very intimate. And he comes on, and he's shambolic. And his autobiography had just come out, and in that he revealed that he's been taking heroin for the last 15, 20 years, and he's straight now. But
Wow.
and he was talking, and he's charming as hell. He's very funny, but he kind of laughs to himself a lot. But he was playing, and he was reaching down to get a bottle of water floor, and he's nearly falling over. And we were watching this thinking, oh my God, you know, and some of the stories were a bit rambling. Some of them were hilarious. And half time, we went round the corner to the pub, and we were talking at the bar. We noticed there was this woman there with a couple of others, and she was very glamorous. She was in like leather, all in leather. She had big hair, blonde hair, very beautiful. And we found out afterward that that's his partner. And we were talking about how crazy he was and how funny. And something clicked in my mind when we came back from the second half. He was playing, he did some Bowie covers and some Lou Reed, and he did Under Milky Way and other stuff as well. And it just suddenly clicked in my head, this is absolutely wonderful. And I'm so privileged to be here. And I didn't
Yeah.
think that until about halfway through. And suddenly it was like, this is magical. And I absolutely adored the evening, and it was great. And he was selling stuff there as well. So I got his new album on CD, and I even bought, so he does art as well. He's a painter. And I bought a print of his. I'm not sure how great it is, but it kind of, I liked it. And it's his version of Jim Morrison.
Look at
It's
that.
quite modern and it's interesting, and I do like it. I mean, I don't know how great it is as a piece of artwork, but I think it's lovely.
Me
So
too.
yeah,
Me too. It looks like him. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So you know, and he has done a number of
I
solo
like the
albums as
bottom lip,
well.
the way he did the bottom lip.
Yeah. I mean, that's Jim Morrison as I like. You know, big and bearded and fat with a growling voice. You know, LA
Which
Woman
that's
is
really
the
how he went
best.
out of this
Yeah,
world. I mean, he
yeah.
had gained weight, and
But his voice was just LA Woman was the
his
best.
voice was starting to shape into. I know this is the church,
Yeah.
but just really quickly, Morrison's voice started to become that more of that blues thing. I believe
Oh,
that they were
he,
on the path to doing more
yeah,
blues stuff. That
yeah,
that was the real calling for the band, and I
yeah,
think they had gone through all that other stuff, and which some of it's great, amazing
yeah.
stuff, but I think they were ready to do more of that, and he was gone. That LA
Yeah,
Woman album is that's just amazing.
it is. And then you think about it, you know, someone like Steve Kilbey, he could have gone down that self-destructive path. I'm sure, however many years it was, I'm sure it's 15 or 20 years he was on heroin. You know, he could have gone down that path, but he's come out the other side, you know, and he's a survivor and he's still going. And the Church are, I believe, touring again around Australia. But yeah, I sort of picked this because they've always been a favorite of mine. I've got a lot of their stuff. And I saw this performance, and I thought it was lovely to see them play, you know. And he's quite charismatic, Steve Kilbey. He has got a great voice as well. It's very rich, but it has that sort of emotional content to it, you know. And when he's sort of singing and he sort of comes in. But I thought the guitar playing was just, again, superb. And, you know, I'm sure there are other guitarists who do better jobs out there. But for that performance and in that moment, it just takes you away. And I just think it's wonderful, you know, that they did that. So, yeah, I just thought it'd be a treat for you to have a look at it and see.
I wish I knew what you were looking for.
Yeah.
I might
He
have.
hates it. He hates that song. He sort of rolls his eyes every time because that's, you know, but again, that built his fame and gave him the freedom to do all the other stuff. So
He's
it's
probably had to sing that 5,000 times,
oh
and
yeah.
it's like yeah. But
He
it's
he yeah, he actually has over 1,000 songs registered with the Australian Copyright Agency. So he's prolific. He's done a lot of writing, and I wouldn't say that they're all great, but there's a lot that are.
So
really,
the band's
really
still intact. There's still a
yeah,
band.
yeah. They've had changes. So the guitarist that you saw, Peter Copes, he was there from 1980 to 1992. Then he came back in 97 until 2019, and he's left. Mighty Wilson Piper was there from 1980 to 2013. He's now left. So he's got a couple of new guys in, but it's basically Steve Kilbey, is the main driving force.
And this performance was what year?
2009.
Okay.
I mean, it's a long time for guys to get there. We've spoken about bands before and stuff, It's a long time for guys, and they all did various solo projects with limited success. I've actually got I'll show you. So this was Steve Kilbey's first. I must be a real fan. This is his first solo album called Unearthed. And it's all right. It's decent, He then did an instrumental one called Earthed as well, which isn't quite so easy to listen to.
Okay.
But I mean, I got some of this was the one. I don't even know what year this was. I'm guessing this would have been late 90s, early 2000s. But he painted the cover of that. I'm going to bring it a little bit so you can see him. Yeah.
Oh, he's talented.
And that's a decent. Wow. He's a decent artist. And Peter Copes, he did an solo album which I got as well. That's kind of a bit more gentle and acoustic, but it's nice. It's nice. But yeah, they had a certain reputation, especially in the new wave period. I got to show you. Yeah. Here we go. Really quickly. So this is their first album, and it's brilliant. It really is great. It's of its time. His voice sounds really dated, really 80s, but it's part of the charm for me.
Yeah.
And then they did some other stuff, Persia, and you can see the covers are really of their age. Remote Luxury again. You can see it's really 80s, early 80s sort of. Get ready for this one. This is so terrible cover. It's just awful, but it's like what people were digging at the time. Heyday, that's a great poppy album, really, really nice. This is the one, which is just, again, their biggest selling and superb. I really like this. Is one called Metropolis on.
Metropolis,
sorry. Yeah, and it's a really nice song. There's a few Marty Wilson Piper songs on there as well, where he takes the lead vocals. That's a 12-inch, and that's what a lot of people say is their highlight is Priest Equals Aura, the title track of which is awesome. But it's trippy, it's very, very different. But yeah, so I've got a bit of church. I'm a big fan.
Well, take me to church.
Yeah.
Feed me some more church songs.
Yeah, I'll do a Beatles influence one because I think you'll really get off on that.
Ah, cool.
And spotting the influence. There's a lot of it.
I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, you have an amazing rest of your night. And to everyone out there, whatever time of the day it is, I really hope you enjoyed this reaction, this song, this band. Put in the comments, what do you think about all that? What's that next one that John should give me? Should it be that Beatles sounding one? What else? Hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see every one of you on the next episode of Into the Music.